Yes, everybody, and welcome to High on Homegrown, the Cannabis podcast from PercysGrowRoom.com. I am Macky from the UK, and joining us this week, we have Marge.
Yes, hello everyone. It's Marge, your favorite host of Bite Me, the show about edibles, coming at you from Berlin, Germany.
No way!
I like that. Nice.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds different. I like it. No. Marge is on her travels. You're having a good time out there, right, Marge?
I am, indeed.
Lovely. You getting ready for that whole legalization thing, which happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're germinating
tomorrow.
seeds
That's
just for the fun, you know?
No, I haven't found any of those yet, but I think I know where I could get some if I wanted.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, man. What do you say, Monkey?
Not much, man. Monkey down here in the southeast U.S. enjoying a Sunday. Not as pretty a weather as we usually have this time of year, but you know what? I'll take it. It's still nice and warm and pleasant outside, so fantastic. Hope everybody's got something nice to smoke today.
Nice. Yes, welcome everybody. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done that yet. And if you're new here and you haven't been able to chat, then you have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes before you can interact with the chat box. So subscribe to the channel and get involved in the discussion as we make our way through the show. And this week is Easter, so a happy Easter to all of those who celebrate Easter. And as you can see from my fancy avatars, thank you out there to Phil for making my avatar there, sitting with the Easter bunny. And Monkey, he's got a nice Easter egg hunt kind of picture there.
Well, what did you ask the Easter Bunny for when you sat on his lap is what my question is.
We'll get flagged if I ask. If I tell you that, yeah.
Come here, boy. Sit on my lap and
You
tell
know
me
what I mean?
something now.
You got any extra carrots? Terrible. Stop telling terrible jokes already. Gosh, you've only just got here.
That's
My
right.
God.
Just started.
Look at that. That's not. Did you just get ChatGPT to make that for you, Marge?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
I
Damn.
couldn't not be the only one.
Man, that's awesome how quick that you got that done and how nice that avatar is. That's super cool, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I worked really hard on it.
Yeah, so
Just
some of
type
these.
description.
Well, yeah, what did you type in the description? What was the what was the prompt? Let's use
just like
correct terminology.
Make an avatar blending the festive spirit of Easter. Oh no, that's what it said. I just asked for an Easter and cannabis theme. That's what it came up
Wow.
with.
Blending the festive thing of cannabis.
That's what it
and-
said here. Here are your themed avatar designs, blending the festive spirit of Easter with subtle nods to cannabis culture.
Ooh.
Damn.
Wow.
Even the prompts you use on ChatGPT sound professional, Marge. What the fuck?
No, that was what ChatGPT
Damn.
replied with, along with the images.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, I wish I could
Damn.
say that was, but it wasn't. It was AI.
Yeah, damn. They're taking over, man, so quickly.
I know, it's scary.
Yeah, so we have some news stories. I think we have 6 to cover here today. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we have. Allegedly, in 2018, some Republicans accidentally legalized cannabis. Terrible. We're going to find out what that actually means. Legalizing such a dangerous substance. And then something to do with terpenes here. A citrusy-smelling terpene in cannabis can reduce anxiety and paranoia caused by THC, allegedly. But this was a federally funded study as well, right, Monkey?
It was.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Because that's going to be a new thing because of the scheduling or something. Because when it's
Well, I mean,
Schedule 1, you can't do the test, right?
No, when they removed it from Schedule 1, you can do the tests.
Mhm.
Well,
But it hasn't been removed yet, right?
It hasn't, but they did pass some legislation recently that allowed them to open up their testing venues, but they still have
Right.
been able to test with using government weed, which
Nice.
is not the best weed in the world, you know.
Interesting, man. Well, looking forward to getting to that one and see what all the info is about. And then we have this one here from the UK. The Hartlepool businessman forced to deal cannabis by Newcastle criminals who threatened his life. So, more repercussions of an illicit market here in the UK. Another one of those stories. We have something to do with Mike Tyson here as well. He once fought stoned after smoking cannabis before a boxing bout. I have no doubt that he did that. Yeah.
Just once?
Yeah, that's it. I guarantee more than once as well. He probably took some mushrooms the one time and shit. That guy was a beast, man. A big fan of Mike Tyson and his boxing career. It was some legendary shit. We have some 13-year-old illegal biker carrying cannabis held by police after being chased by Doncaster police. Very, very interesting. But again, 13-year-old kids running around selling drugs. Damn. That wouldn't be happening if it was legalized and properly regulated, would it? but we'll get to that story later. And then one more from Marge. We have a Science and Health CBD has the potential to manage symptoms of alcohol use disorder. New scientific review finds. So some good info there. Some studies being done and shit. So we're gonna figure out some more scientific stuff about cannabis, because we did that one about the addiction. It just what was it? What did we talk about when it came to addiction and cannabis on one of the recent articles? Damn.
Don't know what you're referring to.
Yeah, I think it was one of Marge's ones.
I'm trying to
Anyway.
remember. Feels like a long time ago, but
Yeah, it does. Even last week feels like such a long time ago. Yeah, so that's all the news stories we have this week. Yeah, so and let's talk about what we're smoking on. And Marge is unfortunately not able to get hold of anything, right, Marge?
well, not until tomorrow or later in the week. Yeah.
Lame. Not even edibles.
I was supposed to bring an edible, like an ardent with me. They were going to send me one so I could, with the European plug thing. And it didn't arrive on time. I was very upset. I know, because I wanted to make edibles here.
Dang.
Oh, well.
I mean,
There's
I can
still time.
still impose the old-fashioned way, but
Wow, don't you love the way that sounds? I can do it the old-fashioned way. Oh man, it sounds you're so old, Marge.
I've just progressed to many devices. I have, devices at my fingertips normally.
So we have this stop motion TV show in the UK. At least we used to. I don't know if we still have it, but it's called Creature Comforts. Little plasticine models which they make talk and things like that. Different animals saying funny things. And when Marge is speaking and her avatar is on the screen, it just reminds me of that TV show. It's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Those who know the TV show will be like, "Oh yeah, damn, that's crazy." But damn, I don't even know what I'm smoking here. Some Mephisto stuff. I can't remember which one it was. There was two which I did: the Illuminauto 21 and the Sam Squatch. But I'm not sure which one it is. But it's nice, fruity. I'm already quite mash up.
What's it called? Sam Squanch?
Sam Squanch, yeah.
Sam Squanch. Is that
Sam
a
Squash.
Sam Squatch. I don't know. It's from Trailer Park Boys. What Bubbles calls Bigfoot. Yeah.
It's a Sam Squanch.
Yeah, Sam Squanch. That's what I said.
I hear you say it again.
Yeah, man. Nice shit. What you got, Monkey?
I got that same thing you're doing, Mephisto stuff, the mango smile actually, and I have to again, like you, just like you, got to be careful because this is mashup stuff, man. Good stuff. This was one of their, they said one of their favorites because of the fruity flavor of it. I can believe it, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I love a good fruity weed.
Mm-hmm.
And no beer, Marge. In Germany, you don't got beer.
Oh yeah, at least you get beer.
Oh yeah, alcohol's not a problem.
You know, you've got to try to avoid it. You know.
Yeah, it is everywhere, but
Nice, man. What's twisted?
when in Rome.
You're not in Rome, Marge. Gee, have you already been drinking that much?
Actually, I don't think I haven't had a single beer yet since I've been here.
Oh right, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be nice. What's the weather like anyway? Is it decent?
The last couple of days have been really nice, like just over 20 degrees or so.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it must be nice. It's the first time you've been to Germany.
Yeah, first time I've been to Europe.
Right, so you haven't seen like buildings of that kind of scale and how old some of these buildings are and shit.
No, not in person.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
To see all these, there's a lot of old buildings. Well, they're near where I am, but they're all over the UK. And it's just crazy to think about how old they are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll go down the fucking stone rabbit hole with that one.
Yeah, Canada and the United States, we don't have a lot of 1,000-year-old buildings. It just don't
No.
exist. No, we don't have
Not
those.
really.
It's like, I wonder what the guy was thinking when he laid that brick 1,000 years ago. Like,
Damn, this is heavy. This damn
Damn.
brick is heavy. That's what he was thinking.
Yeah.
I wish there was some kind of machinery to help us.
Yeah, I wish we could have something like a backhoe invented here that we could dig these brick holes with or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's ask those aliens if they know anything about building pyramids.
Exactly. I wonder what the aliens would be doing right now. Yeah, that's what he's thinking.
Damn, yeah. So let's move on to the news, I think. Make sure you roll up, get high, everybody. Come and join us for the session about the news here. We've got lots to get into. Are we ready to move on? Anybody else got anything to say there? Should we do the news?
Do the news.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. professionalism from all these people dressed as bunnies. You know? Yes, happy Easter and all that. So who's going to go first? I did have this all sorted out on the screen here. There we go. So the first one is, let's figure out what's going on with the Republicans and see what all this is about. Yeah, that one's
Yes.
for you, ain't it, Monkey?
Yeah, and then the title is a bit clickbaity because I already understood exactly what it was all about when I read the article. But this is something that is coming up more and more. And the title of the article says, in 2018, Republicans accidentally legalized cannabis. Now 22 attorney generals want them to undo it. Now it says Republicans accidentally legalized. Let's just say America, because Democrats also voted on this, but it did pass with a Republican majority. And what they are actually referring to is the Farm Bill. So it's not that big of a deal. A coalition of 22 state attorney generals is calling on Congress to address the glaring vagueness that led to illegal cannabis products being sold over the counter across the country, including sometime from vending machines or online. Now, we talked about this several times, and this is down here in the Deep South. The biggest problem that we currently have with cannabis and young people is the fact that these Delta 8 and Delta 9, Delta 10, HHC, these type of synthetic cannabinoids derived from hemp are easily accessible to almost anybody. I mean, but I get advertisements all the time in my mail for free THC seltzer or free vape sticks and free gummies and that kind of stuff like this. And it's basically
Free?
from companies. Free. Well, what they'll do is they'll give you a small sample for free. They're just trying to get you on the mailing list. One of those situations. But they don't, because it's online, it's very easy to falsify ages and get shipments. So this is the biggest problem that we're having in the Deep South with access to cannabis. So anyway, a letter dated March 20 addresses the consequences of the Republican lawmakers' choice to legalize hemp production in the 2018 Omnibus Farm Bill, a decision that perhaps inadvertently led to a multi-billion-dollar market in intoxicating cannabis products that are arguably federally legal. Now, when you have a law saying every part of the hemp plant is completely legal, and even though you can only have 0.3% THC, if you take a shit ton of hemp and take that 0.3% THC, you end up with a whole lot of THC. And this is the loophole that they're trying to close right now. Okay, now the attorney generals want Congress to shutter the markets and help create. In the new farm bill, they want legislators to enshrine a statute, the idea that intoxicating cannabis is not federally legal, contrary to what the current law states. Now, the current law doesn't say that intoxicating cannabis is legal. It says basically cannabis with less than 0.3% THC is legal. So the article, again, I'm going to correct it where it kind of is glaring mistakes here. In other words, they want Congress to say, by definition, hemp can't get you high. The rise of legal and intoxicating hemp markets run counter to the development over the past decade of the highly regulated recreational and medicinal cannabis industries that voters have approved across the country. A wild west of exotic cannabinoids sold without any state controls and formal legal market. It forms a legal market. Problem here again is, we always say this. The good thing about dispensaries is you have people behind the counter who have to follow the law and prevent access to people who are not supposed to have it, like children and teenagers. And when you have a situation here in the Farm Bill and basically says anything that's in hemp is legal, it's a legal compound. So now you can twist that law a little bit and do exactly what's been happening. And these quote unquote legal highs are all over the country right now. Because of the ambiguity created by the 2018 Farm Bill, a massive gray market worth an estimated $28 billion has exploded, forcing cannabis equivalent products into our economies, regardless of states' intentions to legalize the cannabis use, the Attorney General wrote. The bipartisan coalition brings together representatives of a diverse group of states, not just red or blue, but those where recreational cannabis is legal, California and Hawaii, those where only legal medical use, Pennsylvania, and those where it is fully illegal in Georgia. It also includes some states where ballot initiatives for legal cannabis were voted down, like North Dakota, South Dakota, and Arkansas. The impacts of intoxicating hemp product boom, for example, which allows highly concentrated isolates of the active ingredient in cannabis to be sold by mail, are dangerously undermining the regulations and consumer protections in states where adult use legal programs are already in place, they added. I'd have to agree with this because you have to understand these hemp products are not being tested the same way that cannabis has to be tested. And there's no guarantee of purity on these products. You have no idea what the potency of these products even is. It's not being tested and it is not regulated. The massive industry and the current controversy rests on a bit of legal hair splitting that in many ways contradicts a biological reality. The law relies on the idea that a clear distinction between marijuana, which is intoxicating and highly regulated, and hemp, which is none of the above. Now, there is no hard line between the two, guys. We all know this. Hemp is cannabis and cannabis is hemp. It's just the amount of THC or cannabinoids in it is slightly different, but it's all the same plant.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Why they're just adding all these stupid rules to it, and the best thing they can do is just stand back, because as we can see, it just causes confusion and delay, said the fat controller. You know?
Yeah, really. The article goes on. It says, in fact, they are the same plant. Cannabis sativa, a hardy Eurasian species historically prized for its fiber and cloth making, shares a root with the word canvas, as well as using it as a medicinal or intoxicating substance. The biological overlap is reflected in the names of the plant itself. Some linguists offer the word hemp and cannabis are themselves long diverged versions of the same word, which come from the language of the ancient Scythian nomads and Eurasian of the Eurasian steppe, who both wove the plant into cloth and smoked it from vessels akin to the modern balm. Now, we know even back in scripture, there's some descriptions of deriving intoxicating materials from ancient hemp back in the day. And
I'm pretty sure the only reason they invented glass was just to make a good bong.
Probably because, hollowing out that rock, it took too long, man. We had to do something better than that,
Yeah,
The Greek historian Herodotus wrote that the Scythians take some of the hemp seed and throw it upon red hot stones, releasing a vapor that made them delighted and shouting for joy. The chemical that caused these joyous shouts, which has also been found in 25-year-old vessels from China, is the chemical THC, sometimes called the high chaser.
25,000-year-old. Did you say 25-year-old?
2,500-year-old.
Yeah.
In 2,500-year-old vessels from China, the chemical THC, sometimes called the high causer. In 2018, when an all-Republican Congress realized the production of hemp in the Farm Bill, which President Trump signed, it effectively split the plant into two categories. The first of these plants that didn't have significant amounts of THC, which they assessed at 0.3% by weight or more, and those that did. The former hemp became legal, while the latter, marijuana, remained a strange gray legal area. Federally illegal under the same classification schedule as heroin and available through tightly controlled and heavily taxed markets in a growing number of states. In those markets, cannabis sold for epilepsy, the relief of cancer symptoms, or simple recreational use could be 30% THC by weight, 100 times more potent than a very low established limit by Congress on the 2018 Farm Bill. But Congress left a wide space, what attorney generals in their letter described as a loophole. That space was an American industry piled into to fill. First, cannabis entrepreneurs recognized that while Congress had focused on the most common form of THC, called Delta 9, based on a key carbon group attaches to the molecule, whether blah, 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 those other versions like Delta 8 and Delta 10 or Delta 11 were still arguably legal, and the industry of edible products and beverages based upon those products began to develop across the country. Other entrepreneurs pushed it further. A subsequent innovation, cannabis startup founders realized that 0.3% Delta 9 THC by weight wasn't nearly enough to intoxicate users who smoked it. That kind of potency was more than enough to intoxicate if it's put into an edible. Today, a standard commercial edible may carry a dosage of 20 milligrams of hemp-derived delta-9 THC which is less than which is far less than 0.3% by weight in a 10-gram candy, but still more than enough to get the user high. So what they're doing here is they're arguing that they're only selling by weight. 0.3% of the candy is THC. But the candy can weigh a pound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's smart, man. That's smart. Go on. Figuring out your loopholes. That's good, man. That's like a cheat code and shit. Yeah,
You always find a way with edibles. What can I say?
It's fucking genius. Because realistically, it's the same thing. Yeah, anyway,
Right.
yeah, very smart, very smart.
And these are the edibles that you're seeing a lot of kids get a hold of because they're super easy to find. I'm not joking. You can get them at filling stations, petrol stations for you people over there in the UK. They're at convenience stores. You see them in mail and advertising. I get ads from Leafly almost weekly for this stuff.
Because they're hemp derived, but they can still be upwards of 20 milligrams in potency.
Oh,
Is that what you're saying?
there's no limit for the number of milligrams that they can put in it, but by weight, you know, the entire candy weight and everything else can only have 0.3% of that candy weight. So if the candy weighs a pound, you can have 0.3 of a pound of THC in there. That's a lot
gonna
of
be
THC.
shit, though, wouldn't it? If I mean, to get 0.3% of THC, that means you're like with a 100-gram gummy. There's going to be a third of a gram that is THC, and 100-gram gummy is going to be like a massive gummy, right?
I don't really know, but I know the ones that we have been given. I've not bought any of these things, but we have been given some to sample. They look like they were regular size. Most of the ones that I've bought that are legal under the Farm Bill are a combination CBD THC that I haven't found any yet, or I haven't bought any yet that were strictly Delta 9 or Delta 8 or anything like that. They all are like a 1-1 or a 2-to-1 kind of situation with THC being dominant on there. But there is a good bit of THC in those, enough to induce a reasonable high. I find the high from those make me sleepy. It's not a good high.
Twisted just mentioned in the chat there, Delta THCA is not illegal. Only Delta 9 THC is illegal. So that's another loophole that they're putting out there now. Is some manufacturers are starting to include Delta THCA in some of their products, and since THC is illegal, but THCA is not, they can include it in there. Now, what happens if you include THCA in a vape? Once you heat it up, it becomes THC, right? So again, there's your loophole. Right. Yeah, there's a lot of loopholes in there. So I think all these loopholes are actually going to push the government to maybe consolidate. At least I hope they try to consolidate the laws here and make it understandable.
Just legalize it already. Holy shit.
All this messing around. It's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
So it says, as hemp-based THC-infused products increase in popularity, particularly edibles, illicit suppliers had begun co-opting legitimate brand names and packaging to sell candy, snacks, and cereal that are intoxicating and confusing to consumers. They write, the copycat hemp products that place children at exceptional risk. Now, we've talked about these labeling situations here where it looks like nerds or it looks like candy. And this is what they're referring to here. And because it's an illegal market, you know, we heard all about the high ladies and their packaging dilemma, what they had to follow all the rules. This is illegal. They have no rules. They package it like they want to. They don't, and you know, it's one of those things. They're hiding behind a loophole in a law at this point in time. So finally, around 2023, the legal cannabis frontier pushed even further. Enterprising vendors that realized that Congress had banned cannabis flower containing more than 0.3% Delta 8 THC, but even intoxicating cannabis doesn't, but that even unintoxicating cannabis doesn't contain Delta 9. DHC? What is DHC, guys? Any idea? Or is that a typo?
Yeah, I think that has to be a typo, surely.
That's throwing
me off. That was a really awkward sentence.
Very
even intoxicating cannabis doesn't
contains more than 0.3 of Delta 9 THC, but even intoxicating cannabis doesn't contain Delta 9 DHC. Instead of
I wouldn't say it does either, because none of us know what the fuck that is.
No, I've never heard of DHC before. So anyway, so instead of it containing Delta 9 THC or cannabisol acid, a chemical that is On non-intoxicating unless exposed to heat. At one point, it can be converted to intoxicating THC. That's why simply eating cannabis can't get a consumer high. Therefore, based on strict readings in the 2018 Farm Bill, Congress hasn't just legalized the growth of hemp fibers. It has legalized smokable, intoxicating cannabis, which was legal up to the point that the purchaser lit it on fire. So there you go. It's basically saying that these new people saying that if my weed, my bud is legal until it's warmed.
Right.
That's bizarro, isn't it, guys?
It is.
Excuse me. Well,
I wonder
kind
if I
of,
could use it in
because
court.
we have the similar kind of thing here in the UK with seeds. You know, it's like they're completely legal until you germinate them. It's
Right.
Like, until you actually break in a law with it, then nature cannot be illegal, right? And it's just a plant, man. It's just a plant. And like, if you do have one just growing wildly in your back garden, for example, can you get prosecuted for it, even though you don't know what it is? You know, so maybe just consuming it, the act of consuming it is illegal rather than it just being there. You know, maybe that's what's happening.
No telling on that, but it is bizarro that we're actually having. I didn't realize. I have not done like these people actually take the Farm Bill and dissect it word for word, one piece at a time like that. But now that this is out there, I see why they're having a little bit of a panic here, because technically somebody could take any state to court, and unless that state has enacted a law saying THCA is illegal, then the federal law says it's not.
What they need to do is they just need to go, the cannabis plant of any variety and anything it produces, all of the cannabinoids and terpenes are now illegal, but are not available to people under the age of 18 or maybe even 21, unless it's on medical purposes.
Right.
Off you go. There you go. There you go. That's it. I mean, there'll be other little bits of regulations there just to make sure it doesn't get into the hands of, you know, vulnerable people. But that's pretty much all it needs to be. I don't understand why they always seem determined to rewrite the words of Shakespeare, the whole fucking volume, just to make a simple law. There's just too many pages to this shit. Keep it simple and straight to the fucking point. Well, I don't know why they always got to fuck around.
The whole THC and cannabis thing in the States is like a political hot potato and a half. You know, it's just like half the politicians are in favor of it, half are not, although most of the American public is in favor of it. But it's just crazy. You know, we now have a conglomeration of laws that makes it both legal and illegal, and you don't really know which way to run it at this point in time. So I don't even know what they're not even proposing through this article of anything real. They just said, well, we need to change something. But we are looking at a $3.77 billion loss in taxes because of the stuff that's being sold right now. Is, you know, it's not being specially taxed. It's legal under the Farm Bill. Cannabis is highly taxed, but these hemp-derived cannabinoids are not highly taxed. And of all things, guess what your senators are most concerned about?
I'm not saying anything.
$3.77 billion in taxes is what they're most concerned about. They're going like, hey, what this, they're getting away with this now. Yeah, of course they're getting away with it. That's, you know, that's America. You know, you pass the law, we're going to take advantage of that law. That's the way it works in the U.S., you know? So when they pass a law, they need to read the law and reread the law, because somebody is going to dissect the hell out of it like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the article,
and then be telling all their friends, isn't it? I found a loophole. I found it.
Right.
We're gonna be rich.
The article is basically outlining what they think needs to be fixed. And again, I'm going to reiterate. Yes, it says Republicans in the article, but this was just say lawmakers. It's not one group or the other. The lawmakers legalized it in 2018, and in 2019 they realized something was wrong. The FDA said that they were going to regulate it. The FDA says, no, we're not going to regulate it. So right now, technically, people in the U.S., weed's legal, technically.
Yeah.
But don't go to court and try and prove that right now. You know, you'll have a hard time.
Yeah. Interesting story, man. It's funny how you can, you know, fine tune these laws and all the bullshit, and, you know, just find loopholes and read between the lines. It's like a game, you know, you're going to try and figure out how to work it properly.
So yeah, I mean, it's weird that I could actually walk down the street with non-decarbed hash in my hand, and it's completely legal. completely legal. You know what I'm saying?
That officer is THCA.
That's right. You're mistaken, officer. You can eat all of that you want. It's not going to do you any good right now.
That's
you know?
right.
And you imagine if he did? Oh yeah.
Eat a whole gram of hash. You're like, oh my god.
It's actually delicious. Yeah, man. Cool story. We have one here from the UK. And we always get ones like this out of the UK because this place is fucking crazy. But hopefully, with the legalization of Germany, which happens tomorrow on the 1st of April, the UK might see that it's actually that it can be a good thing, and maybe we'll take steps towards legalizing. I'm just hoping and dreaming, you know, just trying to look for the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe that won't even happen. Probably won't. Anyway, rambling on. Hartlepool businessman forced to deal cannabis by Newcastle criminals who threatened his life. So I don't know how true that is. You know, the guy could just been caught selling and be like, "They made me do it." You know, that's just my one of many assumptions. I don't want to try and accuse him of lying. A businessman who was strong-armed into dealing cannabis by criminals who had threatened his life has been spared jail. That's good. That's good. David Geddes, I think that's pronounced properly. It's Geddes. Moved twice to try and escape Newcastle criminals who he was in debt to. Teesside Crown Court heard, but heavies. that's what they've called them. But heavies tracked him down to Hartlepool and forced him to deal cannabis. He was caught with the drug twice by police. By officers acting on intelligence received. So that means somebody grassed him up, so they found weed on him. On August the 21st in 2021, police carried out a search on his home address and found the drug. It doesn't say how much of it. I think it says further down. Geddes, 46, was arrested and bailed, but continued dealing. He was stopped in Hartlepool again by police acting on information on February the 1st, 2022, when he was caught with a significant quantity of the drugs. So somebody knew he was picking that shit up and they grassed him up doing it by the sound of that. Would you agree? Would you? I mean, it's just an assumption, but it seems correct, right?
Mhm.
Where are we now? We got there. He pleaded guilty at an earlier hearing with two counts of possessing a Class B drug with intent to supply, totaling around 575 grams of cannabis. Lame. It's not really that much, you know, for a home grower.
It's a pound. Yeah.
Geddes, who works as a waste management expert, same job title as that guy from The Sopranos. Wonder if there's any connection.
A coincidence?
Yeah, I think not. Geddes, who works as a waste management expert and in property management, came to Hartlepool after being warned by police about a threat to his life more than 10 years ago. And that's the police in the UK. It's like, yeah, someone's coming after you, mate. You best move. We ain't gonna be able to catch the guy, you know. You better just move, you know, up your life and just take it to a different city. Off you go. Good luck. Good. Because in the UK, just a quick tangent, but they say they can't do anything unless the perpetrator has actually done something. You know, goddamn. I don't know whether that's a real rule, but that seems to be the way it is. But anyway, the court heard he was fairly entrenched in the criminal world until 2015, when he managed to distance himself from his former associates and led a law-abiding life. Judge Richard Bennett, should be on screen. Judge Richard Bennett said, "You were traced to Hartlepool by those who had threatened you or their associates in Newcastle. They coerced you into supplying drugs." So, is he telling his own life story to him? What's this judge doing? Yeah. Mikhail Cahill, mitigating, said he was the breadwinner for his family. Geddes of Cherry Walk, Hartlepool, was given 12 months jail term, which was suspended for 18 months, 150 hours of unpaid work, and 20 days probation. Some bullshit, man. Some bullshit all round. It's just like,
All
I
right.
don't know. It's not a lot of cannabis, is it? I mean, for people who don't grow their own, they would think that 575 grams is a lot, but it's not when you
It's
grow your own. It's a harvest, you know, it's a decent harvest.
it's a 20 ounces basically, and yeah, that can be pulled out of a 4x4 by an experienced grower. So yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. So not even a lot, really. And, you know, I don't know if the whole criminal thing is true, but again, the best way you can stop this from happening is by properly legalizing
Legalize.
and regulating cannabis. So it's like every time we go through something like this, it's the same solution.
Mhm.
We are not experts, everybody. I don't know if you're aware of that. I know you might get that impression sometimes, but, but you know, we are not fucking experts, man. And how can we see it? And the majority of you listeners out there as well, you see it too. That the only way that you're gonna fix these problems is by properly legalizing and regulating cannabis. Why don't these motherfuckers we pay all this money for to run the country also see that this is the only way to fix things? It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. These people are just ignorant, and that's the only excuse for it, because there's so much information out there about this, and they've got access to all of these experts. There's no excuse for it. It's just plain ignorance. The information is there. They refuse to fucking see it. And this is why people have to be forced into forced labor like this in both sides. You know, he was committed forced labor by these criminals who wanted him to sell weed, right? And then now he's got forced labor by the fucking courts who are telling him he has to work for 150 hours for free. You know what I mean? It's fucked, man. And why? Because he was in possession of some fucking herbs? Come on.
Right.
And we're not past this yet.
Well,
Jesus.
in both
Sorry, I
cases,
shouldn't say Jesus like that on Easter. I
In-
apologize. I apologize.
in my story as well as yours, legalization and proper regulation would solve the problem.
Yes. Usually does.
Yeah, yeah. Just some
Yeah.
sensible fucking politicians would fix this problem for generations. Oh, man.
Mhm.
Ridiculous. I hope, and he said there that his sentence is suspended by 18 months. So if he gets caught again in the next 18 months with cannabis, he's going to prison for like 2 years or something. Stupidness.
Well, is it even if he's forced to do it by criminals? That's
Sorry?
the hard part to believe. Even if he's forced to sell it by criminals,
You know, is that
that's
even
the
the
hard
case?
part to understand. Yeah,
Yeah, but you know, you're gonna say whatever you can say to make sure you don't have to go to prison, and it's a fair play to the guy.
Absolutely.
He's doing nothing wrong. You know, that's the thing. He's doing nothing wrong, man. He's just trying to sell some weed, and it would be shit for him because again, if it was legalized and he had a group of people come up to him and say, "Oi, you're gonna fucking be selling all of this Coca-Cola, like actual Coca-Cola. I'm not meaning Coke. You know, and if you don't fucking do it, we're gonna kick your head in." So now he's forced to sell the shit, but he can go to the police and be like, "These guys are forcing me to sell this Coca-Cola, and I don't want to do it." But you think he can do that when it comes to weed? You know, you can't go and get help from the authorities like that when it comes to weed, man. You're just gonna end up in more trouble, and you've done nothing wrong. Yeah, unless he's selling to minors, of course, Grouchy. If he's selling to minors, then he needs to be locked up. But again, they wouldn't be selling to minors if it was properly legalized and regulated.
no,
Also that. Yep.
I agree with that.
All of these problems are easily solved by properly legalizing and regulating cannabis. It's just as easy as that, man.
Criminals don't care. They will
But what
sell
do
to
we
minors.
know? What do we know?
Nothing. We know how to grow
That's
weed.
right.
That's
That's
what we
right.
know.
Mm-hmm. But what we got then, Marge? You've got something for us here. This CBD has potential to what?
To manage symptoms of alcohol use disorder, new scientific review finds. So I thought that was kind of
Right.
exciting
So
because
is alcohol use disorder like the new term for alcoholism, I assume?
yeah, probably.
More than likely. Yeah.
But let's see what it has to say. A new review of scientific literature around CBD and its effects suggest that the cannabinoid could be useful in managing symptoms of alcohol use disorder, heretofore known as AUD, by modulating brain networks that perpetuate addiction. The review, from authors at the University of Sydney and local health districts in the Australian city, attempt to theorize the potential neurobiological mechanisms by which CBD may ameliorate various symptoms of AUD. Previous research suggests that CBD may affect salience, reward, emotion generation and regulation, and executive control, including inhibition control, working memory, and self-monitoring processes. The report, which was published on Thursday in the Journal of Cannabis Research, says these processes are highly relevant to alcohol-seeking behaviors, suggesting that CBD may have the potential to manage in the management of alcohol use disorder, which you also mentioned a few minutes ago that we did have an article about the use of cannabis for helping people get off opioids as well.
That's the
So
one. That's the one.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen lots of
Okay.
studies like that before too, because there's something about the THC that helps people mitigate the withdrawal symptoms.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
not only can cannabis help with getting off drugs, but also with alcohol, which is everywhere.
Yeah.
So to conduct the review, researchers looked at previously published neuroimaging studies involving the effects of CBD on healthy brains, examining how the cannabinoid affects brain activity, as well as subjective measures like anxiety and mental sedation. Although not supported by all the studies presented, they wrote the majority of the neuroimaging literature presented in a systematic review suggests that CBD may normalize these processes through its effect on the mesocorticolimbic limbic.
Damn, I think you did it.
I think I just
Wow.
did it in such a way that it sounded correct.
Yeah,
but
maybe. I can't even read as fast as you said that. It was like
that was the trick.
mesocorticolimbic. I think you did it. I can't even go back and do that.
Yeah.
We need like Eminem
Limbic,
to come here to say words like that. That's just far too
exactly.
many syllables. Jesus.
Limbic, salient, and frontostriae something signaling. So a lot of brain shit's going on there.
Yeah.
Given the relevance of the networks affected by CBD in this review and alcohol-seeking behavior and relapse, the team concluded research into the effect of CBD on brain and behavior in populations with AUD to determine any potential role for management is warranted. The findings add further weight to the idea that cannabinoids such as CBD might be useful in treating substance use disorders and help explain the mechanisms behind potential benefits. There's a well-researched link between chronic heavy alcohol use. Oh, there's a well-researched link between chronic heavy alcohol use impairs reward processing, salience attribution, emotion regulation, and executive functioning. We already talked about through the perturbation of various brain networks implicated in the development and maintenance of AUD. The study says, adding that it's previously been suggested that CBD may normalize this perturbed neurocircuitry and subsequently support positive behavioral changes. That's a lot of sciencey stuff that's happening right there.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it's strange, how these illegal drugs seem to be able to help us with so many things, like the psilocybin, for example. People taking that for depression, and that can also help you get over cases of addiction as well. Why have they been illegal for so long, I wonder? Just a mystery.
That is a good question. Maybe it's not as easy to profit off of it. Possibly.
I wouldn't
You can
suggest
run your
that.
own, gather your own in nature,
Yeah, I'm just going to skim this because
there's
essentially, it's a fairly long article, but it's essentially saying through a lot of they've done all these studies, they've examined a lot of studies, and they think that CBD can really help people who are trying to get themselves off of alcohol, which most people probably realize is devastating. Like if you have a serious alcohol addiction, quitting cold turkey is usually not recommended.
No, there's like two different. There's alcohol and a particular kind of antidepressant, I think, where if you stop taking them cold turkey, it's those two things that can kill you. Most things you can just stop and go cold turkey, and after a few days you'll get over it, but it won't kill you. But alcohol, I can't remember the kind of drug. I'm sure somebody in the chat might know. Maybe it begins with a P. It's there somewhere, but I'm not too sure. But you just can't stop that shit, man. And that's scary.
Yeah. It's got pretty dire consequences if you quit cold turkey. That was the reasoning, I think, during COVID, during the pandemic, to leave a lot of the liquor stores open. Was for people who had...
Did you say that nasty C word again?
I did.
Okay, smoke, everybody.
Yeah, man. We haven't smoked over COVID for a while. Let's do that. Let's have a little smoke of that. Yeah, and they left the alcohol stores open because it was what did they call it? Oh, man.
Essential services?
That's the one, yeah. An essential business, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Crazy,
mean,
man.
people could be locked up at home. They needed something to take the edge off and would kill their family, I guess. Who knows?
Well, it's
No
crazy to
TV and
think,
no beer makes Homer go
right. It's
something
crazy to
something.
think though, like they won't even schedule it in the States, and yet they're like, oh, during a worldwide pandemic, we have to leave these stores open in case, alcoholics can't get their
Mm,
stuff, but weed's not legal.
yeah,
They
it
don't
makes no
even want
sense,
to
does it?
schedule
Makes no
it.
sense.
No.
Yeah. And I was seeing an article during the week about the CBD stuff, and this article was basically comparing hemp-derived extracted CBD isolates versus consuming whole plant CBD, and it was talking about how much more effective whole plant CBD is
Right.
than extracted materials. And I mean, the cannabis community has been talking about whole plant for a long time, so I found no surprise there.
Yeah.
So interesting story. It's so I just think everybody should consume more CBD as well. You try and appreciate if you've been growing cannabis for a while and only grown THC plants, just venture out there a little bit, just one plant in the corner of the tent maybe, even if it's just a 50-50 THC CBD. Try it, man. It's nice. I really enjoy some CBD cannabis. It's very nice. And you've grown CBD before as well, haven't you, Monkey?
I still have a little bit back in some of my jars. I don't access it that much, but every now and then I do. And
That's it, yeah.
It's for when you don't really want to get high, you just kind of want to chill. I guess is the best way I use it. It's hard to describe. It gives me a more of a relaxed feeling without feeling high.
Right. Yeah. It's in this article here says too that meanwhile, the National Animal Supplement Council recently concluded that CBD is safe for long-term use in dogs. A significant finding given emerging research that cannabis can effectively treat conditions such as anxiety and certain skin diseases among canines. So it's not only good for us, but it's good for our pets.
Miracle plant.
It truly is.
It
Like
is.
really, I'm not even trying to be sarcastic or take the piss or anything, man. It
I know
really
it sounded
is.
a little sarcastic, but
Yeah, that's just my tone.
no, I know I was sounding sarcastic myself, but yeah.
But it does sound sarcastic when you say something so extreme like that, because usually it is. But really, cannabis is just a miracle plant, and it does so much for us, and we still don't even know the extent of it yet.
Yeah, because it's not legal yet in so many places. Come on, people.
Yeah.
How can you argue with the facts?
Wow, and people do that easily.
I know.
Yeah. Right. What's this next one? I think this one is from the UK as well, right? Just another case, and it's just a short article here. It's just another case of something that wouldn't be happening if cannabis was properly legalized and regulated in the UK. Simple. But we have a 13-year-old illegal biker carrying cannabis held by police after Doncaster chase. So the police had chased this 13-year-old kid on a bike illegally. Well, he was on the bike illegally, and then then caught him. So luckily he was safe. It's not like they crashed. And we have a problem with this in the UK right now. Lots of young kids on scooters, and I think what he means by scooter might mean moped, but it might also mean those scooters that are everywhere now. I don't know if you guys have it in the States. You do have it in the States and Canada, don't you? Those electric scooters that you can just jump on and hire and then ride those at 30 miles an hour.
Those all over here.
Bird, Lime, Uber, they all have them.
Yeah, I haven't been on one, but the missus said she went on one last week when she was up in town, and she was like, "You have to drive them in the road amongst all this traffic in the city."
Oh.
At like 30 miles an hour, and they've only got small wheels, and it's just bumping all the time because of all the stones on the fucking road. It's like, that's dangerous, man. I'll stick to my four wheels and my roll cage.
Yeah, I do.
Jeez.
Absolutely. An accident on one of those things could be pretty catastrophic.
And we have lots of potholes, and because the wheels are so small, you hit one of those potholes and you're going face first into the ground at 30 miles an hour.
There have been many injuries on those rental scooters, man.
And if you're listening to this now and you're on one of those, just flying through the town, like, yeah, this is great, high on homegrown, or riding a scooter at 30 miles an hour, be fucking careful, man. All right? Just be careful.
Yeah, 30 miles an hour on one of those things is fast.
Yeah, really fast.
Scary.
Dangerously fast.
Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe. We'll continue with this article. Random tangent there, everybody. Officers from South Yorkshire Police Motorcycle and Rural Crime Team, that's a title, revealed details of the operation. A spokesman said, just before lunch, we spotted 2 peds, yes, that's mopeds, on the Pipe Up Windmill Bork Lane towards Great North Road in Woodlands. All right, okay. Both peds pinned it on seeing us. God, that was like the police are using fucking slang here.
It's so funny.
You know, both peds pinned it on seeing us, and a split-second decision was made to follow bike 1. There's some cannabis on the screen there, you know. After a short pursuit, the bike stopped and the rider detained. Unbelievably, only 13 years old. I don't know why that's unbelievably. I can fully believe that.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many young kids riding around on stolen mopeds right now. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. What can you do? You see the videos all over the internet, so it has to be true. The Honda PCX, that was sarcasm, that bit. Yeah, sorry. You shouldn't have to explain it. Sarcasm is the lowest form of humor, allegedly. The Honda PCX was hot-wired and was bearing a plate from an HGV as a heavy goods vehicle. So you've got a moped, 50cc, carrying a truck plate on it. Right. Nothing to see here, officer. The rider was in possession of cannabis. Bike seized and rider processed for handling stolen goods, fraud, drugs, and driving offences. Yeah, that's about it, really. You know, to report nuisances and off-road bikers in Doncaster and across South Yorkshire, call police on this number where nobody will answer. Yeah, it just.
So, was the bigger problem for the police the fact that this was a stolen moped, or the fact that the kid had cannabis with him?
It's probably the cannabis.
Okay. I was kind of wondering because, you know, the article, there's more than one crime going on here, and they seem to be focusing on the cannabis, which is probably not as dangerous as a stolen moped and a 13-year-old driving it.
You know, it just crazy shit, man. And they do stupid things as well. I'm not saying that this kid was doing stupid things, but there's potential for him to do it. Just riding up on the pavement, you know,
right,
jumping red lights, because he's 13 years old. He's riding that bike illegally and it's stolen. One of the things, other than being a good person, that prevents you from breaking the laws, you know, running red lights and, you know, just going over the speed limit, is they can get a picture of your number plate on your car and then fine you for it. And you're like, oh, fuck. And also you have to be a good person as well. You know, that's why we all drive to the speed limit all the time, you know. But that's not the case for him. He can do what the fuck he wants, you know.
The bag that they show in the article looks like it might be a gram, you know. It's not much. So it's a huge article, big deal about a little bit of cannabis.
Damn. Yeah, but making a big deal out of nothing. Because, I mean, in that bag, and it looks like PGR weed as well. You see it? I'll put it back on the screen. Everybody, take a look at that. If you want to see what PGR weed looks like, take a look at that. That's what PGR weed looks like.
There's no crystals on that weed.
No, there's no leaf. There's no fucking trichomes. There's no pistils. It just, and it's got that yellow tinge to it. You know, it's just, you can just tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So again, another story from the UK where this wouldn't be happening if it was legalized. Simple.
Right.
Simple
Yes,
solution.
indeed.
So we have another one. Monkey. Is this from Monkey? I think it is.
Yeah, the smelly one.
Yes.
Yeah, it says a citrusy-smelling terpene in cannabis can reduce anxiety and paranoia caused by THC, federally funded study says. Oh, wow, a federally funded study about a terpene. Imagine this. So I had to go ahead and grab this one simply because it's federal, and we're actually spending federal money now studying cannabis. This is new.
Yeah.
A new study funded by the National Institute on Drug Abuse has found that citrusy-smelling terpenes in cannabis can help ease anxiety and paranoia associated with THC. The findings, researchers say, could help unlock the maximum therapeutic benefit of THC and protect public health. Now, who here doesn't like a nice, you know, hit of mimosa or maybe orange or something like that? You know, that always is, that's very relaxing and very
a little bit of grapefruit, you know. We all like grapefruit.
I love that too. I love that, man. I got grapefruits inside. You want me to go get one? Hold on, I'll be right back. No, I'm not doing it. Anyway, Published in the latest issue of the journal Drug and Alcohol Dependence, the new paper says that the subjects who vaporized the terpene D-limonene along with a dose of THC experienced less anxiety and paranoia compared to those who consumed THC alone. Ratings of anxiety, like subjective effects, quantitatively decreased as D-limonene doses increased, the report says. And concurrent administration of 30 milligrams of THC plus 15 milligrams of D-limonene significantly reduced ratings of anxious and nervousnesses and paranoia compared to 30 milligrams of THC alone. Although D-limonene modulated the anxiety-like effects, however, it seemed to have minimal effects otherwise on participants' experiences. The addition of D-limonene, which was found in many citrus fruits in addition to cannabis, smells like oranges, has little impact on other common acute subjective, cognitive, or psychological effects of THC, researchers found. Inhaling the vaporized terpene by itself, meanwhile, did not produce acute effects that differ from a placebo.
Imagine how delicious that is for a second. You know, if you just had that pure orangey terpene in your vape.
Yes, I can just, I'm remembering that beautiful, beautiful mimosa resin that we got in Barcelona. That orange terpene was through the roof on that one. People next to you could smell it when you were vaporizing that stuff.
And that was so fresh. That was like smoking a fucking orange. That was damn.
It was the best, man. That was some of the best rosin I've ever experienced. That one.
Yes, very nice.
So the terpene by itself doesn't do anything, guys. Does that sound like anything to you? Like we've been screaming about this for years and years. It's kind of called what? An entourage effect, maybe? That's right. You know, we've been saying it all along. Yeah, you can split and you can take these things apart, but the real magic is when you leave the plant intact. The addition of D-limonene, which was found in many citrus fruits in addition to cannabis, smells like orange, blah, 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 blah. To arrive at the conclusions, researchers had participants inhale vaporized D-limonene alone, THC alone, and then THC and the D-limonene together, or a placebo, distilled water, and then recorded.
How'd you get in that study? God damn.
I want to be in the one that got everything. I want to be in the one. I want to be in the D plus the THC side. That's the one I want to go into. But yeah, they recorded subjects' vital signs, cognitive performances, and subjective drug effects and mood. Measurements were taken immediately following exposure, as well as periodically after a course of 6 hours. This experiment showed that simultaneously administered vaporized D-limonene and THC reduced subjective indices of THC-induced anxiety in a dose-orderly manner. The 12-author study found, however, administration of D-limonene with THC did not systematically alter the subjective, cognitive, or psychological effects of the THC, and D-limonene did not elicit any pharmacodynamic effects when compared to with the placebo. Basically, they're saying that you got to have it all together, guys. You can tear it apart and doesn't do nothing. You got to leave it together. The report says, among the first clinical studies to demonstrate the validity of the cannabis entourage effect, which theorizes that THC and other constituents of the plant interact in a meaningful way that could alter acute cannabis effects. Now, we've been saying it for years. We're talking about entourage effect. We don't want you to take our medicine apart. We don't want to be taking pills. We want the whole medicine because we want the entourage. Its authors from institutions such as Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, University of Colorado, Anschutz Medical Campus, and Vashon, Washington-based CREDO Science, wrote that the findings contribute to a much better understanding of the workings of the cannabis plant, which could play a factor in both medical treatment and public policy. Given the growing interest in the use of cannabis for medical purposes and expanding legalization of cannabis for non-medical purposes, they wrote, further understanding of which constituents may increase the safety profile of cannabis by attenuating acute adverse effects, such as paranoia or anxiety, and which constituents may exacerbate effects is paramount for advancing the use of cannabis in medicine and, more profoundly, protecting the public health. So finally, actually saying we're going to study the entourage effect. Finally.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical formulations of THC, such as Marinol and chemical analogs of THC are already broadly approved for treating certain severe health conditions, they noted. However, the use of these medications is limited in part due to the narrow therapeutic index. The effectiveness of the therapeutic dose is close to a dose that may elicit an adverse effect, the report says. Thus, the development of novel THC-based medications that mitigate anxietogenic effects of THC, hence widening the therapeutic index, could be of considerable clinical benefit. It continues, calling for further rigorous controlled clinical studies. I want to be in that study. I'll smoke orange weed and tell you how I feel. No problem. The results of the present study suggest that the development of novel cannabis products formulations in high delimiting could be a viable and relatively straightforward strategy to widen the therapeutic window of medicinal cannabis and or THC, and potentially reduce adverse effects associated with non-medical cannabis. The new research is part of a growing field of investigation into the entourage effect of cannabis and its ethnogenic plants and fungi. While Western medicine typically seeks to identify and isolate single active ingredients, the findings underscore the potentially powerful interactions of various chemical compounds produced by the plant. I love that way that they put that there. They're actually, I mean, they're making the point for the entourage effect here. They're basically telling the government, if they listen to this, they'll leave our weed alone, you know?
Nice,
Earlier
man.
in this, for example, the study looked at the collaborative interactions between cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, and other molecules in the plant, including that a better understanding of the relationships of various chemical components is crucial for unraveling cannabis' complete therapeutic potential. We'll leave it right there. And tell you what, I think they're right. You know, we've been looking, our government, the United States government has been looking at the compounds in cannabis instead of looking at cannabis as a whole. And maybe if we could get them to change gears like the study is recommending and look at the plant as a whole, we could definitely do some good here.
Yeah, and it's really great that they're like picking certain terpenes. It would be interesting to see what other ones they do next.
I wonder if they've already done them, but just not said anything about it.
It's highly possible. You know, it's one of those things that they're talking about trying to identify ones that, you know, cause adverse effects. And I would say probably maybe some of the gassy terpenes might be to blame there. You know, some of those more gassy weeds sometimes can get you a little bit more moving or agitated, however you want to put it there. But I know that I've always loved the effect of an orange weed. And so when I read this, I'm going like, this all makes sense to me. Because you know, orange weed makes me feel happy.
Yeah, that orange bud from Dutch Passion.
Yeah, that's just sweet, delicious stuff there. Mimosa, I mean, every time I've smoked mimosa or clementine or any of those kind of things like that, it's just always a very, very good experience. So I love it. But we need more studies like this.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
And if they need any participants,
if you want test subjects, we'll line up a few dozen.
That's right, man. Just send it out to the mailing list, you know.
Exactly.
Anybody want to be involved in this?
Yeah, anybody want to come over here and smoke orange weed for a week? No problem.
Delicious.
Marge will fly back for that one, yeah.
So we have one more. Marge, do you want to cover this last one?
Yes, I would love to. I thought this was kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see why everyone's favorite boxer, Mike Tyson, hits the newspapers again, or whatever we're doing here. Where is this from anyway?
Oh, the Mirror celebs.
Shit.
So the source is just shit.
Right.
All right. I don't even know how to fluff that out to make it nice. It's just absolute shit.
So take it with a grain of salt, everyone.
Yeah.
But the headline says Mike Tyson once fought stoned after smoking cannabis before boxing bout.
Dun, dun, dun. Was it against Buster Douglas? They're only joking, Mike. Sorry. Shit.
It says Mike Tyson is known for his love of weed and was even high on the drug in his fight against Andrew Golota. Boxing legend Iron Mike has become a regular weed smoker since hanging up his gloves and admitted he wishes he used the drug more often during his legendary ring career. Mike Tyson has been selling cannabis products since 2016, and he even owns a 420-acre cannabis ranch in California that generates an estimated, not bad, $500,000 per month. Tyson fought Polish heavyweight Golota in October 2000 after picking up back-to-back KO wins against Lou Savarese. I don't know if I said that right. I didn't
Looks fine. Looks fine. I
whole
think
lot of
that's
boxing back
correct.
then.
I would have said it like that.
And Julius Francis on UK soil. Golota quit on his stool after being battered for 2 rounds, a decision that was met with backlash by the crowd, but it was later revealed he suffered a concussion, neck injury, and herniated disc in the fight. Tyson
Oh, I think I remember that one. I think the guy was like, "End the fight. I'm not playing." And then his coach tried to send him in. He was like, "Nah, quit. I'm not going to play." He just didn't want to go and get hit by Tyson again. Yeah, I
Well,
think I
after
remember that fight.
concussion, neck injury, and herniated disc,
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably be saying the same thing.
Damn.
That's pretty brutal. But Tyson refused to submit to a pre-fight urine test, but did take one after the bout to later. Oh wait, bout only for it to later test positive for marijuana. Iron Mike
Wow.
opened up on smoking weed before the fight. He told the Don Patrick Show, I only did it one time when I fought Golota. That's the only time I smoked weed and fought. It didn't affect me. It affected Golota. They fined me a couple, I guess. They fined me a couple of $100 for that stuff. Tyson's stoppage win was overturned to no contest by the Michigan Commission, and he was fined $250,000.
Wow.
Despite cannabis not being classified as a performance-enhancing drug, Tyson explained how it benefited him in the fight. I broke his cheekbone, his eye socket, his rib. I should have been doing this from the beginning, I said. Wow. What? Wow. I got fined for that, of course, but it was worth every bit of it. I think of it as an enhancer. It makes me better, even in the ring. The punches didn't hurt as much, Tyson told Yahoo. Okay. Iron Mike hasn't fought since a one-off exhibition against fellow legend Roy Jones Jr. in November 2020, but is back on the ring July 20th when he faces Jake Paul. An official rule set for the fight hasn't been announced, but it will take place at the 80,000 seat AT&T Stadium in Texas. And that's the story. He didn't really say how it enhanced him, though, because I'm pretty sure Mike Tyson was breaking cheekbones before he smoked weed in the ring, but...
Well, he said the punches didn't hurt him as much as what he said, so I guess maybe that's the enhancement.
And just the focus, to be able to process the information that's coming at you at high speed. You know when that guy's coming to punch you and it's coming so fucking fast, but to be able to just slow down the whole thought process, and it's not like actually slow down. It's just you perceiving it slower and being able to process the information in a different way. I think the focus would be different for him. That's how I would feel. I think I ain't getting in no fucking boxing ring. Get punched in the face by people. That's crazy.
No, least of all Mike Tyson.
I'd have to be fucking. Imagine that. Imagine even now. It's like they've got this new fight coming up with this Jake Paul kid, and it's like, they're just doing it for the money. It's like I wouldn't do it for free. You're gonna get in the ring with Mike Tyson. Damn.
What's the speculation on the odds? Do they have?
I don't even know. There's quite a mixed review. They're saying either way, it's going to end up bad for Jake Paul, because if he loses, it's like ha ha ha, you lost, and if he wins, it's just like you just beat up an old guy.
Right.
Even though it's Mike Tyson, he's nearly 60 years old, man. He's dangerous.
He's 60. Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting fight, and it's getting good publicity.
I don't know if you can see the picture at the end of the article.
I can put it back up.
Them facing off. I don't know if you can see that or not, but Jake Paul sends terrifying warning, and Tyson sends brain damage warning.
Yeah, here it is, everybody. That picture there.
The face off.
Yeah.
I said during the Mephisto interview, I think it was, I just hope that Tyson will talk to him, because Tyson has that signature move where like he'd punch it right hook to the liver. You just smash this guy. Well, it was a right hook to the side. It isn't the liver, is it? I don't know. And then he'd just straight away come up and do an uppercut. And this was like in a tenth of a second he does these punches. Ridiculously fast. And I just hope he does that. I hope he just walks up there and goes, pow, pow. And the kid's down, done. Just like that. I hope that happens, man. That would be fucking epic. But yeah, Jareth in the chat there says, I don't think he's going to win. It's a difficult one. What does everybody think in the chat? Let us know. Let us know. Yeah, fucking legendary. I love watching Mike Tyson fights. He's just so fucking just. I don't know, like how many did he win before he lost one? He won like 36 fights or something. He went
Yeah, it was
undefeated.
It was a lot. Years for
Yeah.
edible. Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Mhm.
remember when he did come out with his line of edibles.
Yeah, I
Was it
think
Mike?
we reported that
Yeah.
recently as well. No, that was on the
The-
forum recently, wasn't it? Yeah.
The ears, yeah.
Yeah,
Tyson ears, yeah.
I thought he had to take them off the market.
Well, maybe.
I know they're back on the market now because
Oh, they are?
somebody had posted they had just seen those, and then there was a conversation at Percy. Somebody said that he's tried had them many times in Vegas, and even said which ones was his favorite. So I think that they may have pulled them for a while, but I don't
Were
remember
they
that.
the ones that had the bite out of them?
Yes,
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
ear bites. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would buy those for sure. Just for the novelty. It'd be funny.
Yeah, man. Who was he fighting then? I can't remember. Fuck. Who was the fight?
When he bit the ear?
Yeah.
Oh,
Evander Holyfield. That's the one.
yes. Yeah. Mike
that-
bites.
That was a good fight as well. But yeah, legend. So that's all the news we have anyway for this week. Think next week we're going to be able to tell you about what actually is happening in Germany. Now it's fully legalized, man. How cool is that going to be?
I'm telling you, it's just a matter of hours away for him now, literally.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
indeed.
49 minutes.
Ooh.
You going to go out and celebrate? Just
No.
Do you think it's going to
Not
be like
yet.
New Year's Eve? It's going to tick.
Somebody's gonna
midnight,
go outside and
you know?
smoke a joint outside. I guarantee you, somebody's gonna do it.
Damn.
Oh yeah, there'll be people out there. But
Yeah,
I was out yesterday and I could smell weed. So
Yeah.
people
Nice.
have already started celebrating, I'm sure.
Congratulations, Germany.
That's
We had a-
exciting.
Big step forward for Europe.
We had heard stories that law enforcement wasn't actively enforcing the law over the last couple of weeks because they kind of, why rack up cases if we're not going to be able to try them anyway.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, makes
Mhm.
sense.
Nice, man. Well, there we go. There's all the news. I don't think there's any forum news to add, is there?
Not that I can think of.
No. It's end of the month.
No.
Yeah.
End of the month, we're going to be wrapping up our plan of the month. This is the first time we'll actually have a vote on grow of the quarter. But
Nice.
nothing new coming on, but we'll have some votes coming up.
Yes, man. So don't forget to come and join us over at the forum. But for now, that's everything. Let's go to the outro. And look at that. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be chilling on a Sunday, smoking some weed with you all. I hope you enjoyed all the news. And thanks to Phil again for my beautiful Easter avatar. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. And thanks for coming to join us. Of course, Marge, out there in Germany, still got the laptop out and came to join us on a completely different time zone than usual. How does it feel to do the show at night rather than in the afternoon?
I mean, it's different for sure. I'm usually sleeping by now, but I like it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's more chilled, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. It's been a good session. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't done that already. There's nothing to add on the forum news. There's no interviews this week, I don't think. But there might be. I'm going to go out and get a load booked. So I'll let you know on the forum and on the Discord if there's any kind of interviews. But I think that's everything, isn't it? I think it is. We done? Anything to add? Last shout? Anything? Going? Okay, I'll activate the music. I think I pressed the right button, didn't I? There we go. Yes. So there we go. Yeah, thanks for downloading. Thanks for listening. You know, you guys out there who are listening to the show afterwards when it's not live anymore. Yeah, thanks for downloading. We appreciate you guys, man. And join us on Wednesday for the interview with Mephisto, where that one gets released, where we had a 4.5-hour session with the guys from Mephisto, man. But
Yes,
I've
we
edited it
did.
down to like an hour and a half. It's not the full one because it's long. Good times. It was fun. But yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Sunday. Let's wave. Bye, everybody.
Wave it
Hey.
now.
Hey.
Bye, everybody. See you later.
That fade is so bad now.